We're here collectively for use. I want to pass this to my comrade very quickly in short words because we're running out of time. Luis Duarte is that police officer who got wounded, who got shot up in the line of duty a few weeks ago. Almost lost his life. I'm going to pass the mic to him so he could share some words to you. But understand, Luis is just not a co-worker. Luis is a brother. Luis is a friend. I worked with Luis before he became a police officer. He worked the community outreach department with me. Those of you who don't know what that is, we work with youth, directly, primarily with youth. Intervention, prevention, high risk, low risk, it doesn't matter. Young people, we love on youth. And this man stood by my side, loving on youth equally before he became a police officer, fulfilled a dream that he had ever since a child. Remember that when you were too little? When you were little and you were asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? A lot of you said police officer, a lot of you said firefighter. But now things are changing, you're growing and things are changing and different types of influences, right? Remember that he grew up here, he went to school here, he got raised here. He went to the same school you guys are going through. He graduated more in East just like yous. Caught an opportunity and a blessing to apply for the police department, became a police officer. I will pass the mic to him and let him continue with this conversation. Thank you for the utmost respect.
Good evening, guys. As Eddie mentioned, my name is Luis Duarte. As he mentioned, on September 13th, unfortunately, I was shot while I was, me and my partner were trying to stop a vehicle on Cicero Avenue. I'm here not because somebody's paying me or somebody's telling me to be here. I'm here out of my own will because I truly believe in this community. I grew up in Cicero. I'm a product of Cicero. I was born in Mexico, and at the age of 2, my parents brought me here with a dream that we could do whatever we wanted, that we could achieve whatever we wanted to do. And Cicero gave me that. I went through District 99. I went to Burnham School. I went through Lincoln School. I went to Columbus West. I went to several schools here in town, and I feel like Cicero is my home. I've always felt that way. And being born in Mexico, I always felt like I was an outsider. But Cicero gave me that sense of community. And, you know, growing up in Cicero, you know, not too long ago, but, I mean, for you guys, it seems like a long time. To me, it just seems like it was yesterday. You know, Cicero wasn't the way it is now. There was a lot of crime at some point. And I got to experience some of that. When I was in 7th grade, unfortunately, you know, there was a lot of gangs rampant in this town, and, you know, I almost got sucked into that life. And, you know, there's a double-edged sword for me. 2 of my friends in 7th grade were shot a block away from my home. One of them was one of my very close friends. And for a long time, I felt anger. For a long time, I didn't know how to react. I wanted to take vengeance on somebody, especially when you see the parents and family members of those loved ones, of those that are lost. When you see the parents crying for their children, there's a certain sense of, you know, you can't do anything for them to make them feel better. And here I was, this child, looking at the news and looking around the room, and my parents talking to me about this friend that they recognized, and I sucked it in. I acted like it didn't faze me, but for years it fazed me. And from that incident, I learned, you know, at that time I was starting to hang out with people I shouldn't have. I was only in 7th grade, and it was so easy at that time for us to get distracted and go into these, you know, start hanging out with the wrong crowds, and I was starting to. But had it not been for that incident where my friends were killed a block away from my house, I would not have woken up, and I immediately walked away from that. But unfortunately, a lot of my friends didn't. A lot of my friends continued on, and throughout high school, I kind of became the outsider. I stopped talking to a lot of people, but there was a few friends that, despite the fact that they were in gangs, they still treated me like a friend, and a lot of the times they looked out for me when people try to pick on me or bully me because I was an honor student. I was a smart kid. And one of my close friends, senior year, a friend of mine that, you know, despite me being an honor student and him being, you know, choosing the life of gangs, was killed behind his house, in his behind his garage, working on his car. And his mom was a close friend of my mom's, and I remember, again, seeing that sadness and that desperation, not only from the mother, but from the sister, who was a close friend of mine as well. And so all these things affected me profoundly, to the point where I felt like I had to do something. And so I was lost for a long time. People don't realize how these things affect not just the family, but the friends. And I felt a lot of anger. I felt a lot of hate. And, I didn't immediately, after graduating high school, I didn't go immediately to school. I kind of wandered around. And actually, with a few of my friends, we got into a band. We started a band, and we would play in a garage. And since a kid, I wanted to be a police officer, but I kind of lost hope on that as I grew up. And, I didn't finish, I didn't go to college immediately, and I kind of lost track of all of that. But being in this garage, playing in this band, we weren't good. We sucked, actually. We were pretty bad. But being in this band, I remember 2 TAC officers, gang officers, pulled up. And here we thought that they were going to tell us to stop the music. They actually didn't. They came in and listened to us. And one of the officers actually played the drums with us and actually was very encouraging. The very next day, that officer came and brought a professional set of equipment to my friend. And so from that moment on, I started admiring the police and started looking at how police can make a difference in our community. And the officers would hang out with us and talk to us. And so that stayed in my heart. And, when I turned 21, I applied for the police department. Unfortunately, I didn't get in. I made a list, but I didn't. But that didn't stop me from engaging in my community. I began to volunteer with the town and asked if I could help with anything. And, sure enough, they offered me a job with the community outreach department. And that's where I began to work with Eddie. We started working with At Youth Risk, kids that had nothing or anyone to go to after school. Everybody looks at people that join gangs or that have issues as bad people, but they're not. They're just people that don't have the right outlet at home or don't have somebody to talk to. And so with Eddie, that's what we did. We worked with the community, we worked with the youth. We started programs. We had nothing to start off. We took over a firehouse that had been abandoned, and we started working on it, painted it ourselves, and worked through the nights trying to fix it up out of money out of our own pocket a lot of the times. And, I always wanted to be a police officer, and when it came to the point where, our department was working and we had after-school breakdancing and guitar lessons and all kinds of different help for the youth, Eddie actually encouraged me to continue on that dream that I had and go into the police department. And that's when I joined the police department in 2015. I've been a police officer ever since, and I love this department. The media and the news wants to divide us. They want to turn everybody against each other. But to be honest with you, when I work with these police officers right next to me, I know that they care for this community. This isn't anywhere else. This isn't the city. This isn't where, there's a huge division, or they want to make it seem like there's a huge division. These officers care for their community. A majority of these officers grew up in this community as well, just like me. And when I talk to them about my experience, a lot of them share the same experience that I had. So as a police officer, I'm extremely proud of what we're doing here. September 13th, I was shot doing my job. I was shot 5 times. I was shot once in this leg. My leg is completely shattered. At this point, it's going to take me close to a year to heal. This leg was shot as well through the thigh. I have nerve damage, but through the grace of God, I can actually put weight on it, and I'm moving it again. I was shot twice in this arm, and I was shot once through my armpit, and the bullet lodged up here. People ask me, are you going to return to the police department? A lot of people thinking that I'm not, or that I'd be afraid, and I continue to say that I will. This is my community, and nothing's going to stop me from working with the youth and working with this community, because I believe in this community. As soon as I can get back on my feet, I can promise you that I'll be back out there, and I'll be riding in a squad car right next to the men and women next to me. We are proud of our community. We need to stop this division. You know, a lot of young people look at us as the enemy, and that's not the case. We are more than willing and open to speak to the young people. It's just, at this point, it's up to you guys. You know, it's up to you guys to come up to us and talk to us, to be part of this community, to join us in this fight, you know, to do the right thing. I can tell you that since I've been a police officer, I've witnessed again what gang violence does to families. And now as a police officer, I have the family members coming up to me asking me questions, and I can see the sadness. But now I have that opportunity to make a difference. I can try to do something about the victims out on the street. So again, my message to you is we need unity. We need to unify. We need to stop the division, honoring those people that have been lost here in the streets. We need to move forward. If there's an issue at home, we need to talk to friends or people around us to keep us straight, to keep us focused. But from the bottom of my heart, I really hope that even if it reaches 5 of you, 1 of you, I hope that this makes a difference to somebody. Thank you.
Thank you for those words. Next, if we could quickly.